Good doggy, good boy.
What'll it be this fine morning?
Show me your wares. Let's talk about the price.
Well, I suppose we can try. Aye, that'll do. I'm glad you found what you were looking for, sir.
A bit longer.
My God. Why are you all covered in blood? What do you want?
So, Master Chamberlain, are you feeling better?
I don't want to hex it, but I'm a lot better. I even managed to finally lie down and close my eyes for a while.
That's good. It's a sign that your humours are back in balance. But you have to keep taking the medicine, otherwise you risk another collapse.
I'll be careful, thank you. And here's a small token of my gratitude.
While exploring the region, I came across several graves of your men.
Ah, yes. Captain Thomas and his men were not the only ones not to return. At least we know what happened to them. Here. Something for your trouble.
Is there any work around the castle I can help with?
Well, there's the issue with the demons.
Demons?
Quiet! I don't want to cause a panic. But yes, unfortunately, once again, devils are wreaking havoc at Trotsky.
You mean horned ones? From hell?
Do you know any other kind? I'm preoccupied with tasks from Lord von Berghoff at the moment, so I don't have time to deal with it. But I suppose you could do it? You and that friend of yours have a lot to make up for.
You want me to get involved with hell itself? At least tell me more about it.
Ah, you know the times we're living in. War, bandits. The devil took advantage of the chaos and sent his hellspawn here. The castle is built upon an ancient, though fortunately extinguished, fiery moor. It's no wonder it's so close to hell. The spawn of hell shows up here from time to time, and I want you to improve your standing with me and help me out.
Let's get to the heart of the matter. Just tell me what needs to be done.
Our cooks, Manietta and Berto, were complaining about the creatures running around their kitchens. Ossiner, the castle blacksmith, was also blabbering something of the sort as well. The good news is it's only 3 people, for now. We have to act quickly to prevent the panic from spreading any further.
What did you do about it in the past? I reckon this isn't the first time you've had to deal with it.
We usually cleansed the infested places with the help of a priest or an apothecary. Except for that one year when Sir Otto himself faced Lucifer in the Maiden Tower.
Ah, of course.
In any case, you'll have to ask Manietta and Berta, or the blacksmith perhaps, where the demons are coming from, and then simply make sure to get rid of them for good. You understand? I'm sure both the scribe Erazim and Father Nicodemus will have something to say about it as well. The question is if you're up to it, or if I should call in someone braver.
I'm ready to scour the castle and try to chase those monsters away. Could you arrange for me to be able to go wherever I want in the castle, without anyone chasing me out?
Very well. You can move freely about the castle while completing this task, but don't stay any longer than necessary in otherwise forbidden areas. I let the guards and servants know discreetly. If anyone asks, tell them you have my permission.
You said something about a priest and an apothecary. Should I pay them a visit?
We've always used either holy water or magic water from the apothecary to get rid of those hellish creatures. Which one would you prefer?
I reckon the holy water is more likely to work against demons.
If I recall, it was blessed by the bishop himself during the Easter Vigil. I believe you can do it. Should the demons attack you, just run away. But don't make too much of a ruckus, or you cause a panic. God be with you.
What kind of tasks do you do for Lord von Burgov?
Rare ones, lad. His lordship spends little time at Trotsky. As the royal chamberlain, he has to be in Prague most of the time.
What does the royal chamberlain do?
I understand, lad. You're asking about his authority, eh?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know anything at all about him.
Sir Otto von Burgo is the royal chamberlain. Subcamerarius in Latin. He's one of the 9 most powerful officials in the kingdom. He manages the royal towns and monasteries, approves the councillors and abbots in them, and appoints the royal judges.
Why does Sir Otto have to be in Prague so often?
Because that's the seat of the royal court, and our lord is one of the highest royal officials. Praga caput regni, young man. Prague is the heart of the kingdom. All the political threads come together there. It's where they handle administration of the country. If you want to be somebody, you have to go to Prague, or to Moravia, to that traitor Jobst of Luxembourg.
Excuse me, but why do you consider Margrave Jobst a traitor?
And what else should I call a person who only looks out for any chance to benefit himself?
But now he's fighting for King Wenceslas, isn't he?
Jobst has changed sides so often it's impossible to keep track. But, to give him credit where credit is due, unlike our king, he's a great politician. Wenceslas wasn't even able to hold on to the imperial crown that his father passed on to him before he died. Yes, indeed. One day that bloody Margrave Jobst of ours is going to make it big. He might even become the emperor himself.
Why doesn't Lord von Burgov free our King Wenceslas from captivity in Vienna? He's powerful enough for that, isn't he?
It's politics, boy. Pure and simple.
I understand, but could you explain it a bit more for me? Why did they take our king captive? And why did the Czech lords let Sigismund spread all over the country like a plague?
That's complicated. Back during the reign of both King's father, Emperor Charles, the nobles gained great wealth and power. And when young Wenceslas came to the throne, he didn't have enough experience or courage to stand up to them. That's why he surrounded himself with faithful lower lords and entrusted them with all the royal offices.
I reckon the high nobility didn't like that, eh?
You're damn right they didn't. They conspired against the king and established their League of Lords. That started a protracted war, dragging the king's cousins, Prokop and Jobst of Luxembourg, into it. But King Wenceslas was stubborn, unyielding, and, unfortunately, also often drunk. He preferred to run away from politics to wine, women, and the hunt. It was only a matter of time before the lords conspired with his brother, the Hungarian King Sigismund. A year ago, they got together and captured Wenceslas in Prague, and Sigismund had the royal castles occupied by his allies. They secretly took the king to Vienna, where his brother is still holding him firmly under lock and key.
So von Bergov and the others want Sigismund to be king?
Not at all. Soon they discovered they'd miscalculated, and that Sigismund wanted the whole country for himself. And now they can't agree on what to do about it. I think that's why Lord von Berkhoff received your message. He's trying to find new allies among the lower nobility.
Who are among Wenceslas's opponents?
Who do you think? All the nobles in the League of Lords, of course. The most powerful are Henry of Rosenberg, Henry of Hraditz, Boresh of Riesenberg, Bohuslav of Schwamberg, and our Sir Otto von Berghoff, too, so far.
But we serve Sahanish of Lipa and Radzig Kobyla.
Exactly. They're representatives of the lower nobility, who always stood faithfully by Wenceslas because he handed out royal positions to them.
Ah, damn politics.
On the contrary, boy. It's only thanks to politics that von Berghoff didn't send you two to the gallows straight away.
I'd like to learn something.
What is this about?
I heard some interesting books from Prague have arrived at the castle. There's one I'd like to borrow. An alchemist's cookbook. A sand-coloured cover, embossed.
Yes, several rare and astonishing books have arrived from Prague. But why are you interested in an alchemist's cookbook, of all things?
I've heard there are some interesting ideas in it. Every alchemist is in dogged pursuit of wisdom, especially those from Prague.
Perhaps you know more about that book than I do. Well, I'll have to disappoint you. Lord Nickvard Libak helped me sort the new books at the time, and the one you're looking for caught his attention. He left with it before I could even discover what it's about. All I remember is the author's initials, B.B. I'm fairly benevolent when it comes to lending books, and I appreciate Nickvard's help, but he's had it borrowed for an excessive amount of time now. I'd like to ask him to return it, but he's been avoiding me.
Why would Nickvard suddenly be avoiding you?
I have a sneaking suspicion. It seems Nickvard lost the book. I've warned him repeatedly not to carry borrowed books around with him, but to leave them in his chamber and read them there. But Nickvard is old and stubborn, and this is how things turn out.
Well, it's still just a book. Paper and leather.
You say that? To a scribe?
I thought there were more precious things. Like a human life.
We could have a long discussion comparing the value of a Takovite peasant's life with, say, a treatise on physics by Hildegard von Bingen. But I digress. As I said, Nickvard is intentionally avoiding me. But I've made headway. I've managed to find 3 people who've spoken to him recently. Bertha the cook, Regina the maid, and Hirsch the hand.
For a nobleman, Nickvard is quite wary of his own kind, speaking only to servants.
I'm surprised that he's ever spoken to anyone but myself. Nickvard is a loner, which is also why I suspect something bad has happened. Now that he's decided to leave his shell, that is. But I'm afraid that's all I've managed to find out. Since Lord von Berkhoff's arrival, I've been preoccupied with other matters.
I'll help you. I'll ask all 3 and see if they lead me to Nickvard.
Many thanks. If you aren't sure what to do, stop by and we'll discuss what you found out.
Before I go, Can you tell me where I can find those people in the castle?
Who, exactly?
You said Nickvard is avoiding you. Where at the castle does he live? Are there any places he frequents?
Nickvard lives like a hermit here at Trotsky. Like a ghost. His chambers are in the Crone's Tower. But God knows if he's ever slept there. He took his meals down in the Crone's kitchen. Lately, I've often seen him talking to Regina in the Knight's Hall, in the Maiden, or looking out the hall window. I caught sight of him a few times with Hirsch at the transport yard below the castle.
So I just have to hope I run into him somewhere.
Nickvard always just shows up. I've rarely ever found him on my own. I'm not surprised you can't find him anywhere, since I've been trying myself.
Where is Bertha?
Bertha cooks for us in the Crone's kitchen. She's there most days. If you can't find her there, try the first house in the lower castle, across from the door to the dungeon.
Where is Regina?
As Lord von Berkoff's personal maid, she'll likely be somewhere in the Maiden's Palace, perhaps in the Knight's Hall, or on the floor above it, near the Lord's chambers. She even sleeps there.
Where is Hirsch, the stable boy?
I've seen him with Hirsch at the transport yard below the castle. He sleeps in the house directly across from it. I don't know him much, though.
That's everything I needed to know. I hear there are demons causing trouble at the castle again.
Again, is anyone sprinkling yet?
Aye. Me.
That's the only thing that works.
What do you think of all this?
Occasionally, I hear the servants telling stories that sound like they're taken straight out of a Cistercian penitential. Even Gregory the Great, Gregory of Tours, Caesarius of Heisterbach, or Jacobus de Vorgine all share a similar view of unholy forces. The devil, as the enemy of both God and man, makes every effort to seduce the soul onto the road to hell, and to harm people however he can. How do you imagine the forces of evil?
Like a hairy terror with hooves, horns, and big nasty teeth.
Like something out of the Codex Gigas. Anything else?
You can go now.
God bless you, sir. What's that I hear? So, it's you? Aha.
My respects.
I'm looking for Nickvard. The scribe told me you might know something about him.
Well, I'm waiting for Lord Libac to stop by. I brewed him another phial of medicine, but I don't even know if the last one helped. I told him to stop by for another one soon. I reckon he must be feeling better.
Did he say where he was headed?
I can't say. I promised Lord Libac his secret is safe with me, as well as his phial of medicine.
Oh, come now. Nickvard misplaced an important book somewhere. A sort of alchemist cookbook. I need to find it.
I remember the recipes by heart. And Lord Libac's secret is certainly worth more than any book.
Well, if a nobleman's secret is worth so much, how about this? That'll buy you more than one book.
I suppose Lord Libac wouldn't mind. And do you have the exact amount?
Of course.
So many groschen. I promise I'll split it with Lord Libac when I see him, and I'll explain everything.
But now tell me, what's the medicine for?
Well, it's a common potion for a bellyache. Just better tasting. It helps your meals go down easier and come out slower the other end. In that regard, Lord Libac had, well, how to say it? Everything came out much too quickly.
Nickvard didn't have time to run down the stairs, eh?
It was in the privy down below the Crone, by the training ground below the guardhouse. I helped him clean his hose and made him the medicine, and I promised that I wouldn't say anything. Lord Libac is quite particular about the impression he makes on the young maids, you know. He didn't want this little episode to put them off. That's why he didn't use the privy near the maids' quarters, though it's closer to his chamber, but to the arena instead, and only when there weren't any soldiers around. But this time, it caught up with him.
Is that all?
What else is there to say? That the entire time he looked as if he'd done the worst thing in the world. It happens to the best of us, and I told him as much then. I'm just surprised he never came back for another file. I must say, he did look as if the fate of the entire castle was suddenly on his shoulders.
I don't know if this is going to do me any good.
Well, you could have found a worse clue.
Thanks anyway. The Chamberlain said you know something about the demons haunting the castle.
Those monsters are back again. Last summer, we only heard them scratching the walls and roof with their claws. But they got a lot more bold this time. They're leaving charred marks on my wooden spoons, throwing clumps in my food, and they're constantly leaving their droppings in my kitchen.
Don't worry. The Chamberlain is taking this very seriously. He sent me to take care of it.
My eyes and ears aren't what they used to be, but I still know everything that's going on around here. Be on the lookout for people walking arse first. That's how the demons disguise themselves, so you can't see their hollow inside.
All right. I'll keep an eye out. Where should I look for them?
They're coming from the other side of the castle, below the maiden, I swear.
How should I deal with them?
Of course. Everyone knows the demons enter this world through the flames. You have to find 5 fireplaces in the palace, under the maiden, and sprinkle water on them. Be careful to sprinkle within the width of your little finger. 9 drops, 1 for every angelic choir, and every 3rd drop must be twice as big as the ones before it.
I'll take care of it. I hope I can do it exactly as you said.
And one more thing to take to heart. The spell is most effective when performed in the moonlight. But most of all, don't forget, 9 drops. Greetings, sir.
Today's a scorcher.
What can I do for you, sir?
What do you have for sale?
I'm glad you found what you needed, sir. I apologize.
What then? Has the water sprite been up to his business again?
How long have you been serving in Trotsky?
Why'd you ask?
I don't know much about this place, so I wanted to ask you about a few things.
I'm not much of a talker. You'd be better off having a word with our scribe, Erasim. He's served here since the days of the previous lord.
The Chamberlain mentioned you've seen demons at the castle.
You're damn right I did. What do you know about it?
Only that they're crawling out of fireplaces in the castle below the Maiden.
I'm sure at least half a dozen demons have taken up residence in the western courtyard. If the Chamberlain didn't tell you how dangerous this is for all of us, I'm telling you now.
Of course he told me. That's why we're trying to resolve this as quickly as possible.
I'm glad to hear it. Give those demons their due.
Tell me what you know then.
You know the guardhouse with the little arena? In the palace below the crone, over by the outer wall? Inside, I mean, on the ground floor. The place stinks like hell, day in and day out. It makes my head spin. I've seen things there with my own eyes I'd rather not talk about. I'd start the investigation there if I were you.
All right. I'll look into it.
Here, Mutt!
You silly doggy.
The Chamberlain said you know something about the demons haunting the castle.
Of course I do. But I don't know what to think anymore. I keep finding hair in my food. Someone hides my spices. My soup goes sour. And there's that awful smell.
Oh, that sounds terrible. The Chamberlain wants this resolved as soon as possible.
It's about time. Do you have any idea how scared people are? All it takes is one mention of those beasts and the maids start threatening to find work elsewhere. Oh, I hear the castle has always been connected to hell, but nobody tells you that when you ask to work here.
Where should I start looking?
They must be coming from the other side of the castle. Under the crone.
Bertha told me the demons are likely to be coming from here, under the Maiden.
Oh, of course she did. They've been messing with her head. That old crone's under their spell. I always knew it.
Let me guess. I'm going to have to go around fireplaces and sprinkle 9 drops of water on them.
9? Why 9? But you're mostly right. You have to douse the ground in front of the fireplace they're coming from. That creates a boundary demons can't cross.
All right. Where can I find the fireplaces?
That's hard to describe. Anyway, there are 5 such fireplaces on the crone side of the castle. Together they form the shape of a 5-pointed star, a pentagram.
Don't worry. I'll take care of everything. Hopefully I won't miss any of them.
If I were you, I'd do it during the night. Even the demons have to sleep sometime, don't they?
The devil never sleeps.
And the old hag rushes in where the devil fears to tread, eh? The sooner you get rid of them, the better. Farewell, sir.
It's almost ready.
God be with you. Keep the peace, and we'll stay friends.
Greetings.
Greetings. Do you need something?
Do you know where I can find Nickvard? The scribe said you might know.
Erazim is suddenly interested in Nickvard and me. You don't say. But when I need him to read something for me, he never has the time. I'm sorry.
I was asking about Nickvard.
Aye, I heard you. Say, can you read?
I can.
In that case, would you mind reading this message I have from Nickvard?
Show me. Dear Mistress of the Chambers. What is it?
Oh, what I wouldn't give to get messages from someone else. Say, Lord Capon. Never mind. Read on. Though I reckon it interests you more than me.
Persevere. We shall soon escape the dungeon of those 2 women. Cursed fate, however, has placed an obstacle in my way. The heat of the Lightbringer's potion is working, and I can feel my insides being reborn. But when the last remnants of old age left my body, something else was washed away with them.
How much longer is it?
Not much. My damn clumsiness has sent all of the Lightbringer's secrets into the void, but fear not, I shall get them back. May this be the first task on the road to your liberation. That's it.
Beautiful.
That was complete nonsense. I was embarrassed to read it.
Imagine how I felt having to listen to it.
But what does it mean? Can you explain any of it to me?
Lord Liebach has taken a liking to me. I suggested to him it wasn't proper for a noble to have an affair with a maid. He thought I meant he was too old for me. But then he found what he calls the Lightbringer's Potion Book. He said it would light a flame in him that would burn out all that's old. So I suppose it worked. Hooray!
I know the book he's talking about, but what does he mean, into the void?
Look, can we stop talking about this? I feel a little uncomfortable here, talking about some old lovelorn nobleman.
I understand. Just one more thing, please. When was the last time you saw Nick Ford? And where?
The last time was in the Knight's Hall, but that was a long time ago. I found that message a few days ago. Hard to say where he's off to.
Thanks anyway.
My respects.
Lord von Burgov, I've been told to deal with the demons plaguing the castle.
It's a thankless job, but a necessary one. I appreciate you taking care of it.
Are they really so much trouble around here?
They've been a nuisance ever since the castle was built. Call him whatever you want. Satan, Lucifer, Beelzebub. That hellish bastard certainly wasn't happy when Sir Vincent started building 2 towers right on top of his extinguished fairy estate.
I can't imagine he was.
But he soon realized it made him closer to people and that he could attempt them more easily. Many a poor soul in the lower castle has already fallen for his schemes and made a pact with hell.
Why don't you put a stop to it?
The castle is situated in a good strategic location. We have no choice but to try and tolerate Lucifer, and he has no choice but to tolerate us.
Greetings. What would you like?
How long have you been here in Trotsky, Father?
Well, it's been quite a few years. But if you are interested in local history, you should go and see the scribe Erazim. He's been here the longest.
I noticed there's no church in Troskowitz, or anywhere nearby. Why is that?
It's true. You'll find the closest one in Uyezd or in Mladyeyov on the other side. In Trotsky, we only have the chapel in the castle tower. In short, this domain is the middle of nowhere. It was only with Sir Otto's arrival that great things started happening.
What is Sir Otto von Berghoff like?
What can I tell you? Lord von Berghoff provides a livelihood for many people. He brought money to the region, restored and expanded the castle, and yet he spends most of his time in Prague. He's the royal chamberlain, and politics takes up a lot of his time.
I understand. He pays well and doesn't get in the way, eh?
That's not what I said. The old chamberlain, Ulrich, manages the estate, and he's definitely good with numbers, at least.
But
numbers and accounts aren't everything. One should also think about the salvation of one's soul. But that, young man, is absolutely none of your business.
how do things work in the castle?
You mean who runs things when our lord is away?
Yeah, I see there's a lot of people here, so I wouldn't want to offend anyone.
Then you should watch out especially for Lady Yitka. She's the wife of our Burgrave Hashek. She's a pious woman, but also damned firm and strict on the servants. Her husband is in charge of the castle garrison and order in the region. Then Captain Thomas is responsible for Sir Otto's security. He's an old soldier and an upright fellow, even if he doesn't come to confession more than once a year. And the ruler of the roost here is the Chamberlain, Ulrich von Schaumburg. You seriously don't want to cross him, lad?
I've sinned, Father. I want to purify my soul in the eye of God and repent.
Your soul is pure, son. Do you really wish to make a penitence pilgrimage?
I'll do it some other time.
As you wish.
I heard the castle is haunted by demons again, Nicodemus. Did they bother you too?
They did indeed. A few days ago, I was in the chapel, deep in prayer, when a spawn of hell appeared before me. Fac mihi hominium. Swear an oath of allegiance to me.
My God. What did you say to it?
I laughed in the face of the Prince of Darkness. Would you not rather renounce your slavery and return to heaven? I told him. Without hesitation, he replied, better to rule hell than to be a slave in heaven. And then he disappeared, veiled in a terrible, foul-smelling smoke.
Phew. That sounds horrifying. But anyway, like I said, I was told to sprinkle water. I don't think pouring water on the floor will be of much help. Maybe the locals should start drinking the water, instead of whatever booze is making them see things.
It is clear the Tempter has been whispering into your ear, and that you are not afraid of God's punishment. Finish quickly what has been asked of you, and pray the Lord forgives your lack of faith. Otherwise, this place will be full to bursting with demons. Careful!
Look what I have for you.
I'll bear it in mind, but I'm not going anywhere with you. What would I be looking for there anyway?
I surrender!
Now I'll show you. You can't say you weren't warned. You can't just loiter around on other people's property. You'll pay up and show me whether you stole anything, otherwise we'll deal with your unruliness in the pillory.
Utter nonsense, all of this. You're keeping me from an important mission. You'll have to answer to the nobility for this.
Oh, I apologize, my lord. I must have made a mistake. Let's just forget about this.
Jesus.
Nine.
You're not permitted to be here.
But I'm not going anywhere with you.
At once. Are you deaf? Oh, yield. The pillory's too good for you. I'll chop you up on the spot. Do it! Punishment by the blade, my favorite. Any idea what that was? You're not permitted to be here.
I'm not going anywhere
Surrender
with you.
at once.
What would I be looking for there anyway?
Greetings, sir.
That should do it. I hope I'm doing this right.
Is this how they clean floors around here now?
What do we have here?
Good day, sir.
God be with you. Keep the peace, and we'll stay friends.
Greetings.
and our Lord rested at the end of the week?
I observe the day of rest, but otherwise, I'm always on the go. I'd feel bad if I wasn't.
Admirable. I hope you keep it up. But even so, I think you should slow down a bit.
I hope I'm doing this right. Did you hear? Apparently there's demons in the castle.
Damn it! If they weren't before, you surely just summoned them here yourself.
What? How?
Every time you say the word demon, one shows up. Don't you know that? Some words just shouldn't be used.
You just used it yourself.
Kurva! You tricked me, you blackguard!
A demon!
Stop it, you madman! I'm deadly serious. You have no idea what you're messing with. They really worked me over when I was little.
All right, I'll shut up.
About time.
So, how did you end up at Trotsky?
Sir Otto hired me in Prague as his bodyguard and a swordmaster for the local castle garrison. I reckon he sensed he was in danger. And he was right. A band of scoundrels was lying in wait for us on the road, and they nearly got us.
How was your company ambushed? What happened exactly?
It was well planned, I must admit. They nearly got us.
And what went wrong for them?
Hard to say. Maybe we were just lucky, and God was watching over us.
That's all there was to it?
If you really want to know what I think, the idiots lacked discipline. They rushed it.
What do you mean?
It might have come down to a single fool's mistake. I don't know. But if they just waited a bit longer, we wouldn't have stood a chance. Like I say, I thank the Virgin Mary and all the saints for watching over us.
Why do they call you Black Bartosz?
It's just a nickname, of course, because of my, black hair. Every swordsman has a nickname, you know? Once you win a few tournaments, they give you one.
So you're really a high-born knight?
Indeed. I'm Bartoszek of Drahonitz. My father served Emperor Charles his entire life.
Oh, sorry. I suppose I should call you sir.
No, there's no need for formalities. Titles are worthless. A man should earn a name for himself. It's not enough to be born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
You must have been honored when the Royal Chamberlain chose you as his bodyguard. How did you meet?
That's simple. I was serving in the garrison in Prague's royal castle, where von Burgo was a frequent guest.
I see. But what brought you to his attention? You have good connections, I suppose.
Depends what you mean. I'd recently won 2 big tournaments, so I was invited to a splendid banquet. It was there Sir Otto offered me a position at his castle. I'd heard of Trotsky, of course, but I was still astonished when I saw it with my own eyes. Sir Otto spared no expense to build a truly mighty fortress.
Sorry, but we're about the same age, and I'd never have guessed you're a swordmaster.
We each have our own path, it seems. I even studied at university, while I could still afford it.
What? You're a man of letters as well?
I wouldn't go that far. I dabble in poetry a bit, that's all. I may come from a noble family, but we're not renowned or rich, and studying costs a fortune, and I didn't have one, so I had to do what I do best.
You became a mercenary.
That's right. I spent more time fighting than studying at university, and I came out of it alive, so I reckoned that's where my talent lies.
Where did you learn to fight, Bartosz?
I've dedicated the last 5 years of my life to it. I travelled a lot and was taught by several masters.
I'd like to see the world too, but I haven't even made it to Prague yet.
Well, I haven't been all that far either. But unless you learn from true masters, you'll never become a master yourself. Fortunately, these days there are plenty of swordsmen in Prague who will train you for coin.
I hope to make it to our royal city someday soon.
If you do, go and see Master Lamprecht and give him my regards. He's a man of honour and a peerless master of the longsword.
I'd like to learn a new combat technique.
Why not? If you have a bit of time, I can teach you something. As you can probably figure, I like the longsword because it's beautiful and an absolutely nimble weapon. Our grandfathers didn't use them, but today in Prague, everyone is tripping over themselves to learn how to fight with one. I'll be happy to show you how to handle it better. What do you say?
That sounds good. Teach me that.
As you wish. The first thing is to realize a sword has 2 blades, and thanks to your second hand on the hilt, you can quickly spin it around and hit your opponent's head. These are exactly the techniques that make the longsword an extremely deadly weapon. Now come and try it a few times.
With you.
All good?
Keep the peace.
No learning
and we'll
has ever
stay
fallen
friends.
from heaven for anybody.
Greetings. Can we fight?
As you wish. Practice or the real thing?
A practice fight is enough for me.
What's your weapon of choice?
I'll take a longsword.
What should I take?
The same as me.
Shall we get started?
I'm ready.
I'm all yours!
Been up to his mischief again?
You could say that.
I'm knackered.
As you wish. Do you want to try something else?
Let me catch my breath, then maybe we can continue.
All right.
Privies for the guards. Did he make a mistake? Or is he just messing with me?
God. Oh, well. Christ. What? Shit.
Ah, you must have been wrong about those demons. The place you described to me was just a shitter.
You're right. My bad. I realised as soon as you left.
You were bored, so you made up the whole story.
Oh, come on.
So where should I start looking for those demons?
I was actually going to send you to the palace below the Maiden Tower. It's upstairs, near Lord von Burgos and the Burgrave's chambers. I hear a mysterious door appears right next to the staircase leading to the tower. It must be the devil's work.
All right, I'll have a look. But you better not be messing with me.
God bless.
Good day.
Go and get your horse.
I'm at your service, sir.
Here you go. Take it.
Oh, you mutt.
They won't be getting past this.
At your service, Mom.
Can you read?
No, Mom. Numbers a bit, but
Back
not...
to hell with you.
You can help me then. I need you to take a letter to someone.
Ah. Well, I suppose I can do that. What's in the letter?
It doesn't matter. All you need to know is who to deliver it to.
Yes, Mom.
Come and
At
see
your
me
service,
now.
sir.
They won't be getting past this. Back to hell with you. They won't be getting past this.
yourself out?
About, sir.
Why?
I get the feeling life's passing me by, and that the Lord will be responsible for my idleness.
Even our Lord rested at the end of the week.
I observe the day of rest, but otherwise, I'm always on the go. I'd feel bad if I wasn't.
Admirable. I hope you keep it up.
I apologize.
Another privy? The place you sent me to was just another privy. I'm starting to lose my patience.
Oops, excuse me and my befuddled mind, I've messed up again.
You're just messing with me. People are scared, rumours are spreading, and you're sending me from one privy to another.
It was just a little misunderstanding.
I don't have time for your stupid jokes.
Suit yourself. But don't be surprised when one of the demons comes back to bite you in the arse. How can I help you today, friend?
Everything. Really? You didn't forget it? Well done. Drop by tomorrow. There's something else I need. You can go now.
You're always welcome here, good sir.
I took care of those demons. They shouldn't be a problem anymore. I didn't see or hear any of them. I reckon it was just rats.
Hopefully things will quieten down again for a while. Most importantly...
I decided to help Ossiner as well. I can still smell that stench everywhere.
He got you too, did he? He tries that prank on all the newcomers to the castle.
You knew? Why didn't you warn me?
I wouldn't want to spoil his fun.
Anyway, the job is done.
Trotsky Castle, held by Sir Otto von Berghoff, Lord of Billin, Royal Chamberlain of the Kingdom of Bohemia, Chairman of the Provincial Court, Member of the Crown Council, Magistrate of the Peace, Burgrave of Prague, thanks you.
I didn't fight Lucifer like Sir Otto, but even so, the demons should leave you alone. I'm glad I could help.
And I'm glad that all I have left to deal with this month is fixing the stairs, the sedilia, and checking all the chimneys.
You've got a lot to do.
There's always something to do at a big castle like this. Also, don't think you can continue to move freely about the castle. You are hereby stripped of that privilege. Nevertheless, since the minions of hell didn't reach the castle's coffer, nor did they cut into our profits, you deserve a reward. God be with you.
Look what I have for you.
You silly doggy.
Lord be with you. I'm looking for Nickvard. The scribe told me you might know something about him.
Hey, Nick. I mean, Lord Libak. I almost forgot about him. I suppose his task wasn't so pressing, hmm?
What task?
Nick Libak, that is, entrusted me with a big task quite a while back. He's a castle lord. Obviously, I had to obey him. But then I heard what another castle lord was planning, von Berghoff, and I had to obey him even more. He says there's a war on. So here I am, ready to go off to battle.
I need to know more about what Nickvard asked you to do.
No. There are new rules now. You have to prove you're not a spy.
What are you blathering about?
Von Berghoff said there's a war on, right now. I told him, watch out for spies, Sir Otto. But fear not, I know how to sniff them out. You're a spy yourself, ain't you?
I'm not.
Ha! That's exactly what a spy would say. That's why you have to be vetted, to see if you're really on our side. The side that Nickvard's on, just so you know. We're all friends here. You can join us.
I'd like to.
Hold your horses. First a test.
Tell me what you want from me, then.
A sword.
Sword? What sword?
A long and very good one to help me deal with other spies. If you bring it to me, I'll know you're not an enemy spy who should fear me. Forge one, buy one, or even steal one for me. Maybe from one of the guards at the training ground or down by the gate. During the day, they're not in the towers anyway.
Steal a sword? That sounds like something a spy would do.
Not a spy who wants to help von Berghoff's most loyal servant. By servant, I mean me. See, once I get a sword, I'll fill you in on Nickvard's task.
I'll gladly give you some groschen to buy your own sword.
Only spies pay bribes. Unless you had more groschen than a common spy would have. Then I'd believe you ain't one of them. Do you have that much?
I'm not going to pay you that much.
You want to hang on to your spy earnings, I understand. Well, you won't get another chance.
Listen, Hirsch.
Don't try any word games on me. Persuasion, threats, I know about them spy tricks. Deeds talk louder than words. For example, like bringing me a sword.
I'll think of a way to convince you.
I'm always glad to see polite people like you. God be with you.
Cheers. I hope you have an uneventful shift.
What will it be?
Show me your ware. Let's talk about the price.
Very well.
Finally, a reasonable sum. I'm glad you found what you were looking for, sir. What'll it be this fu-
I'll have a look at the ware.
I hope you find what you're looking for next. All right. What would you like, friend?
I'll have a look at the wares. I'd like to do something about that price.
Well, I suppose we can try.
Only because it's you.
Look, offer a bit more and we can make a deal. Finally, a reasonable sum. Thank you, sir, and come again.
Good day.
Greetings to you, friend.
It's good for you. Pickled cabbage drives out the black bile and puts your fluids in balance.
What fluids?
About Nickford.
Got that sword yet, spy?
You wanted a sword?
That's perfect. Lovely. I don't think you're a spy. Can't say for sure, but you seem all right.
What about Nickford, then?
Nickvard asked me to do something for him. He must have admired my devotion to Lord von Berghoff. Either way, Nick looked troubled and not very healthy. He wanted me to fetch him something he lost outside the castle, and I told him I would. At least I could check to see if anyone was sneaking around about the castle. But then Nickvard clutched his belly and ran off. So I never found out what he wanted, or from where.
That's all?
Aye. If you run into Nickvard, ask him if he still needs it or whether he found it himself. I'll be going into war soon, so I don't have time for these things, see?
I'll tell him.
I wish you well. Greetings.
No, I don't care for gossip.
Nor do I, but this is important.
I'm not interested.
But this is about money.
Good day to you.
I'm here for some horse tack. I hear you have something for me.
Well, fuck me blind. You got out of jail yesterday, and today you've got a horse. Fuck, I wouldn't mind having your kind of luck. But you're fucking things up for me and making a mess. And I don't want to get a whipping on your account. I've got the tack ready, but I've been ordered to show you our herring first. You can take him, they said. So kindly take a look at him in the stable here and tell me if you want him or not. Well...
I took a look at herring.
And?
A nice animal, but I'll keep my own.
Never mind looking a gift horse in the mouth, you flat out refuse to accept one. You're lost though, pal. Actually, now we've got to know each other, I want to let you in on this little scheme. We could both get something out of it. But you'd have to keep it to yourself. What do you say? Can you keep your mouth shut when coin's at stake?
Look, first, I'm a guest here. And second, it's not long ago that I was locked up. And I don't intend to let that happen again.
Pity. But I know what you mean. No hard feelings. Now let's forget all about it and get back to the reason you came. You know how to ride and control a horse?
Ah, don't worry. I'm right at home with horses. I learned to ride with cumans on my tail. And arrows whistling past my head. A tough school it was.
Well, I'll be damned. I never heard such a thing before. But even an experienced horseman like you needs equipment, as you well know. You can tack him up yourself, right?
Sure. Thanks.
God be with you, good sir.
creeping around where you don't belong! You mangy mutt! Get out!
Huh? Was that you?
All right. What was that?
Never mind.
Greetings. What would you like?
This place is off limits to you.
I'll make you surrender! Calm down! I surrender!
This place is off limits to you.
I'm not going.
Halt!
Good to see you.
Was that you? Oh,
Never mind then.
Greetings.
God bless you, sir.
About that lost alchemy book.
Please tell me you found it.
Not yet, but I searched for Nickvard, and I have some clues.
Tell me what you've learnt, then.
It looks like Nickvard brewed some sort of potion from the book. He told Regina it would restore his youth, but the potion didn't sit well with him. He must have spent a lot of time on the privy at the training grounds below the Crone. Bertha brewed a digestive potion for him, but it didn't work. When he wasn't shitting or writing notes to servants, he asked Hirsch to bring him something from beyond the castle walls. He lost something there, and then he vanished without a trace.
What do you think about it?
You said that Nickvard had a habit of carrying books everywhere with him. If that was the case with the alchemy one, it's possible it fell down the latrine while he was shitting by the training ground. And now it's lying somewhere on the cliffs beyond Trotsky.
That actually sounds quite likely to me. Let's pray he didn't use it to wipe himself. Go there and look. Perhaps you'll find the book, and Nickvard too.
Look what I have for you.
At your service, sir.
You must be
It has
Nick
to be
Vard,
me
eh?
standing over the body.
Poor
What a
wretch.
fucking day.
My respects.
Another senseless death.
How many more times am I gonna have to poke around in corpses and shit for that damn crazy?
It's starting to stink. It has to be me standing over the body. What a fucking...
My humble respects.
your knees? Feeling better?
Oh, yes. That ointment of yours is a gift from heaven. Now they only ache when there's a storm coming.
That's handy, isn't it? At least you know when to round up the cattle and gather in the hay.
Aye. When I'm old and infirm, folks will come to me
My
for the weather
respects.
forecast.
I heard about this fella who always got heartburn just before it snowed. You could see that.
All we need is a bloke who can't get it up when it's going to be sunny, and we'll be the three wise men.
More like.
Take care of yourself.
What do you need?
My body is in need of rest and relaxation.
Certainly. We're open.
I could use the company of a pretty bath maid.
Excellent. Pay up and we can get started.
I'll gladly pay you.
All right then. Let's get to it. Follow me. I always get hungry after a fuck like that. I'll go and find it happens. Just watch where you're going next time.
Here, Mutt.
Thank you. And come again, sir.
Scribbling nonsense. They're called letters, and that's exactly what I'm paid to do. Carry on then. You dare to show your face to me after what you did at my daughter's wedding?
I apologise. I'm so sorry I ruined the wedding like that.
So you should be. And you should apologise to my daughter Agnes too. The poor girl's been down since the wedding, and it's all your fault.
What's new in the county, Master Bailiff?
I was just visited by one of the local peasants. He said he found more fresh graves behind his field.
I've seen those.
That we found some, and that's about it.
That sounds interesting.
God be with you.
What's the latest news, innkeeper?
Nothing much, fortunately, and I hope it stays that way.
God be with you, my friend.
Huh?
wondering if you'd lend me your bullock when it's time to sow winter grains. I need to plow fields, though. What if you lend me a bullock on the lawn?
Quick! Quick! Whoa!
I don't know myself.
Hail, fellow. Are you looking for something?
Eh? Why are you looking at me like that, you mysterious person?
You alright?
All right. No, I'm not. Not in the least, my dear fella. That's what happens when you lose your purpose.
What? Are you looking for something?
Yes. And that's precisely why Providence has brought you here to help me in my search.
And what's that?
If only I knew myself. But I'm afraid I've suffered the most grievous of losses. What I have lost is meaning to my life.
The meaning of life, you say? All right, well, I'll take a look around.
That's a good one. And where exactly do you expect to find it? I've been searching for it myself for years in vain.
Here? Why here, of all places?
This is where I felt I lost it, all those years ago.
Well, I'll have a quick look round.
Be my guest. Farewell.
Quick! God! Go! Quick! God! God! Quick! Whoa!
God bless.
Yeah, greetings.
Greetings to you, sir.
Greetings to you. And what do you want? I hope your blood has cooled a little since that brawl.
Lord Semin, I'd like to apologise for ruining the wedding. I'm really sorry.
You showed your true colours, Henry. You really let me down. At least you're man enough to come and apologise. Don't apologise just to me, though. Never mind that the wedding cost me a fortune, to hell with that. But you should apologise to my son and his bride. May God be with you, Henry.
Good day to you, friend. Greetings to you too.
How can I help you, sir?
I need to get my horse scrubbed down and its tack cleaned.
I'll get right to it, but it will take a while. Coin up front.
What if I offered you this much? It's just a horse washing after all.
That works for me. Why not?
Here you go then.
Now then, where is this beauty of yours? Here's your horse. Look at that glistening mane.
That's bloody deep.
What's that I hear?
Piss on that fucking thief's head!
Oh, it's you.
You're always welcome here, good sir.
I wanted to apologize for ruining your wedding.
You mean that fight? That's not worth mentioning. It wasn't your fault, anyway.
Is everything all right, Agnes? You seem a little sad.
Don't worry. I'm just tired after the wedding. God be with you.
Good day to you, friend.
It's hot out.
Get out of here, mutt! No one wants to hear your barking. That's more like it, that mangy mutt.
God! Go! Go! Goodbye.
Whoa! I'd like to do something about that price.
Very well. Finally, a reasonable sum. Excuse me.
I have the book for you.
Well, I must admit, I haven't had an apprentice this handy in a long time. Zinnik has nothing on you.
I had a peek inside. The pictures are nice, but what do you want to learn from them?
You'll find out soon enough. Show me that miraculous thing. This really is something. But why is it all covered in shit, for fuck's sake?
Let's just say the scribe didn't have it. It actually wasn't even in the castle. Under it, really.
Oh, refining saltpeter. Boil wine and alum. Grind. Ah, of course, it makes sense. I'll study the rest on the way. Well, the last chapter of our story of knowledge awaits us. The grand finale.
So what now? Do you have another job for me?
Charcoal. Sulfur from Hermes Trismegistus. Saltpeter from the carcass pit. As long as Black Bertolt didn't make any mistakes in his calculations, we have everything.
What Bertolt? Oh, God damn it, Kraser, what's going on here? I'm tired of flying back and forth like a rag on a stick. I won't be led around by the nose. Will you finally tell me what's going on?
Believe it or not, all this secrecy had its reasons. But now I don't have to hide anything from you. It's time. We'll meet with the others in the lair, and there you'll learn the whole truth. You go ahead. I'm going to get a few things ready here.
All right, then. I hope you keep your word this time. What'll happen now?
Our last supper, with only one but very filling course, awaits us.
Krazel, please. For once, just once, tell me what's actually going on.
And rob myself of enjoying your blissful ignorance? Not a chance. Tell me yourself, what do you think is going to happen?
Like always. You'll send me off somewhere to look for something, and you'll have a fancy speech to go with it.
He knows you now as well as we do, Miller.
I do tend to do that, true enough. But no, today things will be different. Bonnie will start today. At least I'll finally see if she understood my teachings. Bonnie?
First of all, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the whole gang for all the work you've done. We could never have finished the job without you. We found 2 new partners, you and Monarch here. It's good to have someone to rely on. So, it's time we started being honest with you, so you can finally learn the whole truth.
Not yet. Let's pull up that uppity bastard's leg a bit longer. That's the fun part.
One more word, Zinek, and you'll get one on the nose.
Calm down, friend. I'm just kidding. Tell him then, Bonnie.
This whole time, you've been collecting ingredients and clues for us. But, so you wouldn't go nosing around, we always told you it was for something different than it actually was.
The miller here calls it tackets.
Tactics, you idiot. And everything worked out according to plan. So today we're finally close to our great success. With the help of Hermes Trismegistus and his successors, we'll finally complete the dream of all alchemists. Our magnum opus.
Exactly, Bonnie.
Magnum opus. A great work of alchemy. You're trying to make the Philosopher's Stone.
I see you've learned something after all. But no, the Philosopher's Stone isn't our goal.
Let's see then, Henry. What is it you think we're making here?
Some kind of weapon?
Well, Henry's not too far from the truth after all, don't you think? Actually, he's pretty spot on, although weapons were our last order of business. Let's start at the beginning. My father was a miller as well, but I was never much interested in the trade. Even as a young boy, I loved running around Lower Samine and investigating everything living and dead. And I had a lot of questions about everything. Then my mother, God rest her soul, decided it'd be best for me to go to study in Prague. As soon as I grew up and gained a bit of sense, I packed my bags and left.
So you went to a university in Prague? The son of a miller?
Why not? My father worked his arse off, and he had the coin for it, miller or not. I met a lot of remarkable people at the university, and my thirst for knowledge kept growing. But in the end, it only took a year of all that pretentious, scholarly blathering and hypocritical nonsense for me to realize I wouldn't learn anything proper there. Most of the students and masters are just a bunch of dogmatic fools. They have their own truth, and those who want to know more or ask the wrong questions fall into disfavor, as was my case.
You left your studies?
And I'm glad I did. The most important science is not subject to any religious dogma. And, of course, it's not taught at any university.
You mean alchemy?
Exactly. The art of combination and dissolution. The key to understanding the very nature of the world. There's only one queen of science. Alchemy. I returned to the mill in Lower Samine and started a new life.
What did your parents say when you returned from your studies?
My mother had already passed away. All my father said was, "I knew you'd be back." And he sent me to haul sacks of flour. I think in the end he was glad to have someone to take over the mill from him. From then on, alchemy became my true passion. I brought a few important books from Prague. I started with the most difficult thing. I tried to create gold.
That was pretty daring of you.
As you might expect, it didn't work. But after a few tries, I managed to create something entirely different. Once I tried mixing sulfur, charcoal, and saltpeter. I had a candle burning next to me. A gust of wind scattered the mixture, and all of a sudden, bang! I almost shit myself, I tell you. But then I realized I'd unwittingly created a miracle. Explosive black powder.
So I was right. You're making weapons.
No, it's about much more than that. We're all in on it now.
I couldn't continue my experiments on my own, but Bonnie and Zinnig did a few little jobs for me.
So he initiated us.
But we just still didn't know how to do it right and not blow ourselves up in the process.
And we used up a huge amount of saltpeter and sulfur.
By the way, the manuscript from that Hermes Trismegistos was our shopping list and price list for material from Kuttenberg.
Only we didn't know correct proportions. I looked up a few of my former fellow students and brought it up with them. And we found out that before us, some monk had already made the discovery.
Some fella called Black Bertold. And that he even started writing a book called Feuerwerk.
Feuerwerkbuch.
We can believe our luck when we found out there's a copy of it right here at Trotsky.
And you know the rest.
It's a discovery that will change history. In the right hands, it can make miracles happen. All it takes is a spark, and a storm of fire will sweep away the old world order. It will wipe out stupidity and ignorance, once and for all.
And what will happen now?
As I said, we're about to have our last supper on our journey to satisfy our hunger for knowledge. A feast of smoke and fire. Black Bertold never finished his book, because he never had enough ingredients for his last great experiment. But now, thanks to you, we do. we can finally finish Bertold's work and finish his book. We'll see with our own eyes what a barrel of black powder can do. I hope you're as excited as I am.
Before we get started, there's something I want to know. This book, Feuerwerkbuch, what's written in it?
Everything you'd want to know about black powder. How to mix it in the proper ratio, how to store it, how to light it properly, and especially how to use it in warfare, because that's the most important part, after all.
Do you really need that much saltpeter?
We do. Saltpeter makes up almost 3/4 of the mixture. Not even all the cows in the region could produce enough for us once we really get started with manufacturing.
What is it you're going to do with this powder?
During wartime, like it is now, a flammable and explosive mixture like this has more uses than you can imagine. If we had a few big barrels of the stuff, we could demolish Trotsky if we wanted to. And maybe we will.
All of us here are truly passionate about the idea of a new world, and now it's within our grasp.
What is it you studied at the university?
I was supposed to become a preacher.
That fits you. Maybe you'd even be a good preacher.
Maybe I would. Maybe I wouldn't.
God has a path prepared for each of us. And each of us here decided not to follow it.
I was supposed to be a dyer, but I was too lazy to work 6 days a week and soak my hands in lye.
I was supposed to become a nun, but I didn't want to give up the booze and fellas.
And I've already told you everything. The world is what you make it.
How did a scholar and an alchemist become a thief?
Prague is a big city, and a poor student has no chance of getting a decent place to sleep or even something to eat. Learning to shop with 5 fingers was the first requirement for survival. We're all masters of our own destiny.
I've heard enough. Now I want to see that with my own eyes.
Let's do it then. Bonnie, is everything ready?
Indeed it is. We can get started. Long live the beautiful new world.
Looks like it ain't working.
I'd say it works just fine.
This will change history.
What? I can't hear a thing. But I'd say it works just fine.
White ash.
If my ears ever stop ringing!
Black powder? I'd never have expected that from Crazel.
Imagine, that monarch of ours is half deaf.
That dog of yours? What does that have to do with the gunpowder magazine?
Just that I was wondering that the explosions didn't bother him at all. At least he won't suffer here. And now I'm not surprised he was so unhappy with that bastard Vasaric. Hey, how did you know what we were actually doing?
I didn't exactly.
But you said weapons. How did you find out? Did we let it slip somehow?
It was clear to me the moment I saw that book. I figured the illustrations were about either painting the walls with something to make them invisible, or demolishing them with some kind of flames.
Whew! That means it's all on Crazel, and I played my role properly. Anyway, you did a damn fine job. You deserve a nickname from me, like I promised. We're going to call you Sourdough.
Sourdough?
Well, when you came here, you were kind of unrefined, grey, nothing much. But as you gained experience, you rose and rose until you've risen into a companion we need not be ashamed of. Take care then, Sourdough. And come back and visit sometime. Take care now.
We've been through a lot together. Will you finally tell me more about yourself?
Have you not grown tired of all this constant questioning? I've told you plenty already. And if I left something out, it was for a good reason.
Well, I know about the university, the alchemy, your desire to change the world, but I don't know anything about you as a person.
That's a question I'd like to know the answer to myself. To find yourself, and who you really are. Isn't that the only true meaning of life?
You really led me on about the gunpowder magazine, didn't you? A golem made of dough, souls inside saltpeter, the secrets of light and shadow. That was all just empty talk, wasn't it?
Not exactly. It's all based on the real philosophy of the Jewish Kabbalah. I studied the writings of Bonaventura and Dietrich von Freiberg, but it was never in my interest to put their theories into practice. But they work brilliantly as a cover-up, don't you think?
I really thought you'd have a golem made from dough walking around the mill, or that I could become invisible.
Ah, but black powder is no less a miraculous creation.
So for the last time, Crazel, what now?
I'll do what I promised, and what will most likely be my fate. I'm going to gather together all the knowledge I've acquired and finish Black Berthold's book. I'll finish his opus.
Uh-huh. And what about me?
That's up to you, Henry. You're a free man. Lord Samin has no hold over you, and never did. You know, the inevitability of God's plan takes no interest in people like you and me. We'll always be little people, beneath it all.
That sounds somehow hopeful in a peculiar way, I'd say. Now I'm even happier about the great thing we've accomplished here.
The ideal conclusion, I'd say. Maybe it's time to carry sacks at a different mill. But if you're still interested in learning a bit more, drawing from the well of alchemical knowledge...
I know where to find you.
Indeed.
Crazel?
The fuse didn't catch immediately.
I've told you there's no need to dip it in resin and wax. Better to use rushes, boiled in wine.
Very well, if you say so. We'll try rushes next time.
I'd also like to take a look at that book, Crazel.
In due time, Bunny. In due time.
You have a kind master, eh, doggy?
Black powder? Well now.
You didn't expect that, eh?
I'm not so stupid that I wouldn't realise you're not just milling wheat here.
Bollocks! But it is true, you did guess right that we was making weapons. Anyways, I hope the miller gives us a bit of extra coin now things has finally worked out.
In the worst case, you can go back to licking the walls of pigsties.
But next time you'll be coming with me. Farewell.
Hey, what have I... Good doggy. Good boy.
Look what I have for you.
I'm always glad to see polite people, Eddie. God be with you.
They're taking their time again.
Bollocks a misunderstanding. You made a fool of yourself, Morlake.
What am I supposed to do then?
It's time for the rat house to make a move on Crazel.
Do we have enough evidence to lock that rabble up? Tell me.
You might want to sit down for this, Thrush. Crazel has something that would allow him to raise the whole of Trotsky to the ground if he wanted to.
My God, how? Tell me.
Listen.
Goddamn Crazel.
What now?
It's time to put an end to it. I'll take a few men, and we'll head to that lair of theirs. Show us the way. Is there anyone missing here?
No. This is the whole gang.
Master Bailiff, what are you doing out here? In the forest? Such a rare honor.
The game is up, Crazel. In the name of the king, you'll tell me every last detail of what's going on here.
Of course. My conscience is clear. It's just that my apprentice here must have misunderstood the goal of our efforts. I assume that's why he brought you here.
Don't try to worm your way out of it. Henry here has cause to suspect something underhand is going on here.
You don't say. What sort of underhand things do you mean?
You sent me to steal the document from the rat house.
Don't associate me with thievery. You know I hate that word. The document was mine, and you decided on your own how to obtain it.
Horseshit. You've got all the thievery in the county under your thumb. Bonnie and Zinnek robbed a lot of poor farmers.
What my hands do behind my back is their own business. You can't prove any of it, Thrush.
I can't prove the thievery, Crazel. You're right about that. But I'll find plenty of evidence against you right here. The manufacture of black powder is a crime. I'm giving you one last chance to confess and avoid a visit to the torture chamber.
A crime? How could it be a crime? Is it a crime to walk down a path no one has walked before? To pick a flower no one has ever picked? Or to make love to a girl no one has ever made love to?
Save the poetry for someone who cares, Miller. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
But you don't know what I'm talking about. You see the shadows on the wall, but you miss the flame casting them. You don't understand the world hidden behind the world of matter. You'll never know what it means to harness and control that matter, what it means to wield the power of fire.
And you don't know when to stop babbling about your delusions, because you just unwittingly confessed.
This can't end well.
What the hell is going on here?
You don't know? I thought you'd be more insightful, after all we've been through together.
You never were particularly outgoing.
And I see I wasn't wrong about you. You're just an ordinary fool. You fail to understand that behind my actions is nothing but a pure desire for true knowledge. To hell with a golem, the Kabbalah, shadows, and light. This is proof that knowledge is a weapon. This is real power. If it gets into the right hands, stone shall not be left upon stone. It'll tear down your whole old world, along with the church and all that shit around it. Then God's justice will finally come among men.
What are you talking about? That's blasphemy.
Quo sapiens in pectore habet, sed stultus in ore.
Don't hide behind Latin. Your university lectures won't save you. You underestimated us. Especially our scribe. He learned all about black powder and the danger it poses. I didn't catch you for thievery, but I'll have you for aiding and abetting outlaws. You'll hang. All of you.
I have nothing to do with outlaws. I swear. Do you think I'd share such a secret with anyone?
Then what did you want to do with black powder?
To try it out, to test its power.
And how would you do that? Blow up the rat house?
No. Why would you think that?
You spoke of the end of the old world. Where else would you start but in Droskowitz?
You're more conceited than I thought. You think everything revolves around you and your little rat house? Henry, for Christ's sake, say something. You know me. You must understand.
He's a criminal. He deserves to hang.
You're on the right side.
There is only one wisdom and truth that is hidden in the very essence of things. You can't stop progress. There will be others after me. The discovery of black powder will eventually reach the people and serve the purpose for which God intended it. From the spark will come an explosion of knowledge, and then nothing will stop the coming of the new kingdom of God.
You've gone mad. Or you're possessed by the devil. Either way, you're dangerous and we have to stop you.
You can't distinguish between reason and emotion. I wanted to open your eyes, but you clearly didn't understand a word of what I was trying to teach you.
That's enough. Miller Crazel for rebellion against the king and the order of the world in a time of war. I sentence you and your accomplices to death by hanging. The sentence shall be carried out immediately and on the spot, as is the custom when dealing with rebels like you. Men, hang them from the rafters in this hole of theirs. Let them swing there as carrion for the crows and a warning to others.
A miller making black powder? I'd never have expected that.
Not so loud. The Rat House greatly appreciates the work you've done. I'll let all the locals know how you've worked to keep them safe, and I'll give you a well-deserved reward in coin. You don't have to worry about Lower Semine any longer. And I'll have to ask you not to mention this to anyone.
Don't worry. My lips are sealed.
Good. You can leave now.
Oh. So that's all then?
That's all. We thank you.
What do you do? At your service, sir.